Here, he should score the first one, no doubt. Connects with a decent volley, but it's right at the keeper who makes a save. This second one, dude, the goalkeeper is on the ground. You have to score this. And he puts it right at him again. Makes the guy look like a jungle cat. Well, it's another disappointing loss for the U.S. We cannot seem to beat a proper opponent, and every single one of these games goes the same way. So we lose 2-0 to South Korea, but hey, we start the game well. We have a couple good attacks. We've got some nice pressing. And then they get the hang of the game. They figure us out. They score, and then we look completely out of ideas for the rest of the first half. They get another one. Then we make some changes in the second half. It livens up a bit. But by that point, you're like, yeah, game's kind of over already. Now what do we learn? It's just another really disappointing match, disappointing performance and result. But really at this point, Pochettino needs to settle on a system and a formation that works with the players that he has. Now, he made a change in the second half that I think could work long term, but it's really hard to know. And with so few quality games left before the World Cup starts, I can see why people are starting to get a little nervous. So welcome to Campfire Football. I'm Sebastian North. Let's do a tactical breakdown of USA versus South Korea. All right, so the US went with their normal 4-2-3-1 formation that we're used to seeing. And look, it's nice to have Pulisic back because you get to see just some of the simple things he does. Receives the ball with a defender on his back, spins him, turns, gets free, and now he can release Dest because the other Korean defender decided he needed to go pressure. And now Dest is in. Now, if you take a look at Josh Sargent's position here, he's not in a position where he can actually run by the defender. Josh Sargent does not have that kind of pace. And this is the thing about Dest. This is not the right moment to play this ball. He should have kept running with it because he would have committed the defender, and then it makes it easier for Sargent. Dest's decision-making has never really been the best, but at least it was a little glimpse of what we could do if we could turn their lines quickly. And also, if we could press well, we could create problems. So here you see Pochettino waving everyone forward, and the press is good. It's coordinated. Look, everyone's together. The ball goes into the 6. Luna is right there to make sure it goes backwards. Tim Weah gets in quickly, cuts off any option, so now they have to go back again. This is good from Josh Sargent to cut the ball out to that center back. The only option is into the 6, and Luna is right behind him. So as this ball gets played in, it's actually a poor ball back, which is now another pressing cue. Christian Pulisic goes forward, cuts the ball out to the wingback, and now you've got problems for Korea. It's panic stations, dribbling across your 6, trying to play some kind of ball through the middle. Berhalter intercepts it, takes a good shot, saved. But this looked good until very soon after when Korea essentially figured everything out. And how? Well, they played with a 3-6-1 with a box midfield, and they had wingbacks. And they were finding a lot of joy by just going to the outside and being able to get past the U.S., not cutting those balls to wide areas off. The other problem is when the U.S. started having to run backwards, everyone was just chasing people. Right there, you've got Dest and Blackman running after the same guy. This leaves a player open in the middle, and that's Heung-min Son. Korea decided to go back the other way, but why is the 6 here able to receive the ball, turn, and face? Diego Luna should have been right on him, forcing them to go backwards. And now Christian Pulisic, he has got to have the intelligence in this scenario as a right-sided 10 to not mark the guy out wide. He's got to come inside and pick up this other pivot because he's able to get the ball, look up, no pressure on him. Tim Ream is already like, I got to get the head start and run. And it's one simple ball into the feet. Tim Ream gets cut behind. And it's a good thing Arston is there to poke the ball off this guy's toe. But come on, that is way too easy. And eventually, Korea would score. And this goal is just ridiculous. So it goes to Heung-min Son. He chests it down. Good hold-up play from him. And Korea establish possession. Now, there's a crucial moment here. As Korea go backwards and reset, and the ball comes to this guy, Christian Pulisic has got to cut the ball to the wingback. You have to, because if they play this ball and break the lines, they're going to be able to create a simple attack. So if Christian Pulisic is just a little wider in cutting that ball off, he's forcing Korea to either recycle or go through the middle, where the U.S. frankly have everyone else matched up. Take a look at Tyler Adams as a player who just runs by him asking for the ball, but it doesn't matter. Christian Pulisic has not cut this off. It goes to the wingback, and now he's able to just sort of saunter forward. Again, everyone's backing away. Look at Tyler Adams here. He's pointing at his own mark saying someone pick him up. But watch, everyone's just going to defer responsibility here. As that same player drifts wide, it's got to be Tyler Adams who goes and follows him. Instead, he doesn't. So 3 U.S. players here are basically staring at the ball, doing the Spider-Man meme where everyone's like, well, you take him. No, you. No, you. And meanwhile, Heung-min Son just sort of runs off the back. It's absurd how easily he's able to get in, tucks it into the far post, and finishes. I'm sure that councilwoman in California is probably really confused that he's scoring against the U.S. I kid. But really, here's the thing, is after that goal, our possession was just so poor. Everything was slow, and everything was really predictable. As you can see, the ball comes across here. Luna, I like that he drops in to receive it. We'll get to a clip of him doing that a little bit later. But you have to take opportunities to penetrate when they occur. So this ball comes to Pulisic. This ball should go into Arfsten. And Christian Pulisic playing this ball to him and then running down the line, he'll drag a defender with him, or he'll get beyond him and Arfsten can just play a 1-2 with him. But Pulisic says nope. Plays it out to Luna. Korea make a diamond and force the U.S. back. Okay, fine. Let's rebuild now. But no, the ball comes back into Luna. He bounces it, and now Korea are going to step their lines up. Tim Ream's going to play the ball into Tyler Adams. He's immediately pressured. He goes back. It's a poor pass, and Ream has to go back to Fries. And this lack of ideas was growing throughout the half. I mean, most of the possession was just like this. I mean, look how many times it touches the back line here. It goes Ream to Blackman. We're going to go back to Ream. Everyone's kind of jogging across in that front line. Pulisic, Luna, they're behind players, but they're not going to receive the ball where they're standing. So we go out to Arfsten. He should immediately be playing this ball either into Tim Weah's feet, or if Tim Weah runs and drags the defender with him, it allows Pulisic a space to run into and get the ball. At least you go forward and you shake up the Korean defense a little bit. But if you do neither and you just decide, well, I'll go backwards, now we've connected across the back line again. Ream to Blackman, out to Berhalter, and now you're just being pressed and you've got to go all the way back. And you haven't had any ideas, you start to do desperation stuff. Now look, I did say that I would highlight a couple other positive moments. Here are a couple passages of play in that first half that I thought were good and that could be building blocks for the future, at least in terms of the personnel involved. So this involves Luna dropping much deeper and combining with Christian Pulisic in deeper positions to try and get the ball and make things happen. Comes out to Pulisic. He doesn't really have anything, so he plays Luna, who is okay receiving the ball in these kinds of pressure situations. He sideskips one defender, gets past a second, plays a nice little 1-2 with Arfsten, and now we're running forward. So there's a channel wide open. Christian Pulisic has to be the one to run through there. That's good. It opens up Max Arfsten, who's inverting. He immediately gets the ball off his foot and gives it back to Luna. Correct decision. And Luna switches the play out wide to Dest. It's too bad that ball took him so far back, but at least now Dest is in a position where he can maybe start running at defenders. Okay, they've got 2 on him. Now what do we need to do? Well, we need our 10s and our creative players to jump back into the situation. And here's where Pulisic shows up. He wants to combine with Diego Luna. I like that. These two seem to have a good relationship. I think they play well together. This little chip right between the 2 Korean players into Luna, 1-2 with Pulisic, and he's in the box. Heavy touch, he loses it. But I did like this. And what it really comes down to is Luna and Pulisic buzzing around, getting the ball, getting out of tight spaces, and beating defenders. That's going to make a big difference. Here's an example of Christian Pulisic's just clever movement. Here he runs towards Josh Sargent, which takes a defender with him. Both defenders stick with Sargent. Pulisic checks back into the midfield and receives. Very, very good movement from him. He turns, gets the ball out wide to Dest. And now, Dest in this position, 1v1. This is what you want to see from him. This is what he's in the side for. And he plays his ball back. It sort of skips into Weah's path. It bounces off him, and he should do better right here. He stops it, should shoot on target. I don't know, maybe it hits Diego Luna. Either way, it goes wide. The thing is that Korea would take a 2-0 lead by that point, and this goal is completely ridiculous. The ball gets launched forward. Arfsten wins the first header. The Korean player picks it up and plays it inside. Already, someone should have been getting closer to marking him. Luna stepped up. I don't really know why. Sargent's like, wait, should I pick up this guy? But no one is, so now you got a player looking up. Now, the fact that he's able to just cushion this header down to Heung-min Son without being challenged is ridiculous. Berhalter gets back, gets behind Son, doesn't foul him, and Son releases the ball. And now watch Heung-min Son. How is it that the best player on the pitch by a distance is able to just stand still and get completely free? Watch all these U.S. players just running at the ball. Josh Sargent, cut this pass off. Diego Luna, drop. Tyler Adams, communicate. I don't know. But the ball comes in. This guy's able to turn and look up. No one even gets close to him. They're just trying to cut off passes and block lanes. Well, now he just looks up and, oh, wow, our best player, Heung-min Son, is standing at the top of the box completely wide open. It comes into Son, still no one's on him. He does a little fake shot, 1-2 with his teammate, gets in, should probably score himself, but Freeze completely takes him out, and then it's a little back heel in the goal, and two players are falling over the line into the net. Completely embarrassing. So that took us into halftime, and at this point, I think Pochettino should have immediately gone and made some changes. Instead, he sent the same group out, the same lineup out for the first 15 minutes of the second half. Saw no improvement. So that's when he started to make the changes, and here's where the substitutions came in, as well as a change of formation and shape. So you had Balogun come on for Sargent, Roldan came in for Tyler Adams, Freeman came in for Dest, and Richards came in for Tim Weah, basically. What Pochettino did here was mirror South Korea's formation, and we went into a back three. There you can see it clearly. Then you have Roldan and Berhalter as the pivots, and what was good about this is that it created a little bit of a different look for South Korea. Now they tended to have five guys in this middle area, but for some reason it was harder for them to actually pick players up. And Pulisic here drops in, receives the ball, turns, looks up, and has Balogun making a run in behind. The ball is good. Balogun has the pace, unlike Sargent, and he's able to get himself in. But we would see how having these two pivots plus a back three with a couple different angles to work with, and also wide guys who are just that little bit touch higher, really helps. It really makes a big difference. The structure was better. And South Korea were sucking five players into this middle area, which meant that if you're just able to find a little hole, which Jack McGlynn does right here, four Korean players step up in a line, boom, break that line into Pulisic, he's able to run forward. Now that was really the bright spot of the play that we saw. I'll show you one more thing that led to Balogun's late chances, but I do want to mention, we do look dangerous from one set piece, and it's when Berhalter can deliver from about this position and Chris Richards is in the box, because we saw the goal in the Gold Cup final. Richards also scored a goal like this against Saudi Arabia. Here, I think he should score, but decent save by the South Korean goalie, and they scramble to get it away. And then we have the final chance of the match. This was for Balogun to get on the board. Richards gets the ball, gives it to Roldan. It comes to McGlynn, and the U.S. is able to break lines and get out. Now it goes to Pulisic, and this is important. Someone who can drive inside, bring players into him, and open up space for others. It comes to Zendejas. He gets it out wide to Freeman, and this ball into Roldan is great. Then you've got it into McGlynn, a little one-touch pass to Zendejas, and then Zendejas just completely miscontrols it, is able to get it off his toe to Pulisic. There's a tackle to keep him from scoring, and it bounces so beautifully for Balogun. Okay, here he should score the first one, no doubt. Connects with a decent volley, but it's right at the keeper who makes a save. This second one, dude, the goalkeeper is on the ground. You have to score this. And he puts it right at him again. Makes the guy look like a jungle cat. And then after that, you chest it and smash it off the bar, just lashing at it. No composure. But yeah, that's how the game ends. The only thing I have in defense of Pochettino really is that he said this is the last window where I'm really going to just kind of experiment with people. Now, there is one other major piece that we have not seen in a long time, and that is Anthony Robinson, because when he was in the side, he was inverting into midfield, he was bombing down the left wing. He provided a major option that Max Arston just does not really give. And with Serginho Dest back, maybe there is something there for the U.S. to be able to attack the flanks better. But man, it's just a little bit lifeless. There just seems to be a lack of inspiration, and we cannot go much longer like this. Love to know what you think. Tell me your opinions on Pochettino, the squad selection, the formation, what they should do. I would love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, I'm Sebastian North. This is Campfire Football. Take it easy.